Opener here. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stampede Racecast for episode 4 of 2020. I'm host ChainedGraboid alongside co-host Chris, and we're joined by our guest, the community manager for NASCAR Heat, Justin Sutton. How are you guys this evening?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
I'm great. Looking forward to this.
I want to let me get us into some kind of a spectated event here real quick. But I want to put Stampede Racing on the back burner for those who normally watch this every week, because me and Chris want to focus on getting everyone's feedback. It's not every day we get to have the community. This is probably the first time, I don't know, any kind of community manager's gotten this close with a community, it seems like. So we appreciate that one.
Well, hopefully it won't be the last time. I do intend to keep up this sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome because Technics, when they were doing the NASCAR games, they wanted to really be involved with the. Man, I can't get into the lobby. They wanted to be involved with the community, but they were very quiet. They put out the forum. They were tweeting all the time, but they did not respond to us.
Mhm.
They seemed like they listened, maybe a little too much because the games were very broken. But I mean, hey, we got what we wanted in the games, I suppose.
Well, yeah, hopefully it'll be a two-way street with me. I am very much listening. I'm watching content, I'm watching streamers, I'm watching YouTubers, taking in feedback on the social media as well too. But I haven't been super forthcoming as far as information is concerned. But that's sort of one thing that I'm lobbying for internally and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll have more and more information starting to come out. I'm in my third week now, so. Just getting the train rolling and everything like that, but loving it so far.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on to our show. This is a brand new show we started this year. We're very small time in the league racing community, I think, as far as our name is concerned, but it's nice that you have been taking your time to get to know the community. So we want to take time to get to know you in return, but remember what I told you before the show, me and Chris are a little confused about the development process going on at 704 now, or whatever they're called, because today Tony Stewart announced Monster Games is making the sprint car game, but weren't they the main development team for 704 games?
I'm actually not sure because obviously it's before my time, since I'm just coming in. But as far as I know, yeah, I mean I know they're not involved with it at the moment. I don't have a whole ton of information as far as that's all concerned. I did see the game. I saw Tony Stewart's game. I saw the gameplay trailer for it and stuff like that. Certainly looks cool, actually. I'm super interested in it. But yeah, I don't have a ton of information as far as that company is concerned, but 704 is still very much involved in NASCAR Heat. That much I can reassure you of.
Awesome. I'm glad that they're involved because, well, I don't know what it's going to be like moving forward. Just been a few bumpy things happening recently, but real quick, Chris, broadcast is going well, right?
Yeah, everything's looking good over here.
All right, good. But 704 has been very good at improving every year. Something that, well, I know EA Sports kind of hit that brick wall. You go so far, and then they seem to have lost their passion.
Mm-hmm.
But Technics, man, we got NASCAR 2011. It was decent. We got Inside Line. It was a nice step forward, and then they just quit. So it's nice that the fans are finally, granted, we started with Evolution, I would say the worst game I've ever played, but NASCAR Heat 4 is one of the best I've played, so big gains and improvements there. So.
And before we get too far past it, I want to say something on the sprint car game. When you saw that trailer today, did that not look pretty familiar to some Heat games? I thought the menu system, the graphics, it looked very...
Definitely,
similar.
I would say Heat-ish, Heat adjacent, something like that. I mean, it definitely got Heat vibes coming off of it for sure.
Yeah,
but...
they showed that career menu and everything, and I was like, man, I've seen that before. So that made me think. I was wondering, are they even involved in NASCAR anymore? And would there be any? You probably can't speak on this, but when I first saw it, the first thing that came to my mind was maybe legal ramifications for that because of, I figured with that license and with the NASCAR Heat stuff, I wasn't sure if they were allowed to use it or if it was theirs to use it in another racing game. How that worked, because I definitely think it's very much on the same engine.
Yeah, I could feel that. Yeah, I can't really speak too much on it, just for a lack of knowledge more than anything else. But yeah, I presume everything's on the up and up as far as all this is concerned. And what I will say this though, what I liked about what they did was they dropped it real quick. Like they're like, hey, here's this game. It comes out in 9 days. And
I know. I was shocked. I was like, wow.
I love that stuff personally,
And it looks detailed too. It looks
Right.
like it'll be a lot of fun.
Looks like a fully fledged title, So and the fact, I do like that there. Here's some gameplay, and you can play it next weekend. It's pretty incredible. I'm sure there's probably some wives out there who don't appreciate the game coming out on Valentine's Day. But
oh right.
but
And the price point too.
Think about that.
I think the price point is great for a game that, from what I've understand, it doesn't have any real tracks in it. Not a whole
actually,
lot.
I
of
didn't see
drivers.
the price point. What was it?
$29.99.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
$30.
Yeah, very reasonable. Very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely good. I don't know anything about sprint car racing other than it's on dirt, so I'm definitely gonna get that game though, because I mean it's Monster Games. You can't go wrong there, unless they're making Evolution again, which I doubt.
And I'm hedging my bet that it's going to be a lot like the dirt racing in the Heat franchise, and that's enjoyable. So
Right,
it'll be
that
well.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
such a bad thing.
Yeah, dirt racing on, while it's not quite sim, it's pretty good. I think the outside lane should be a little more useful in some cases,
Gotcha.
but I think you guys will get there eventually. But I don't know. What were you up to before NASCAR Heat?
Actually, I was working for an esports team, a UK-based esports team out of England. They have an office in London, actually. But I was working remotely. I'm from Texas. I know you're from Texas too. But yeah,
You called me out.
Yeah, I sure did. But yeah, I'm born and raised in Texas. I've moved around a little bit, but yeah, I've lived here most of my life. I am going to be moving to Florida though for this job. I'm just I got to.
Man, you're copying me. I'm moving to Florida this weekend.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I am indeed following in your footsteps later on this year. So, yeah, I'll be heading out that way myself as well. But yeah, prior to this, I was social media manager for Veloce Esports. They're a primarily, at least initially, a sim racing esports team, which is quite rare these days. They're quite a large team as well. They're partially managed and owned by Jean-Eric Verne, who was a Formula One driver, now a two-time Formula E champion. He's involved in that Veloce Esports team. There's a few other former race car drivers, or as some of us like to say, failed race car drivers, who are also in the management of Veloce as well too. But I came to them. I went with them last year after working for IGP Manager, which is a mobile / browser based racing management game. So it's available like on phone, or you can just play it through your Google Chrome or whatever browser. And yeah, it's a sort of smaller company, obviously being mobile. It's a very different sort of atmosphere and stuff like that.
It's fun though.
I
have had my hands on that.
Yeah,
good.
I've always been a big fan of IGP Manager, and that's really kind of how I got started in this whole industry. Was I contacted the guy that owns IGP Manager one day, and I said, "Hey, I see your social media isn't super active. I'd love to, even just kind of like as an intern, just take over for free and see what I can do and that sort of stuff." And that eventually turned into a sort of part-time job, and then eventually that turned into a full-time job with IGP Manager, and then last year went over to Veloce, and then this year got tempted away by 704 and joining for NASCAR Heat. Nothing against Velace. That was a dream job. It's just that this is more of a dream job. You know what I mean? That the only thing that can lure you away from a job that you love is a job that you would love even more, and that's exactly what got me over here.
That's awesome. So, are you enjoying it so far? The 3 weeks?
Yeah.
You handling the community well?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big community. It's a lot bigger than IGP Manager was. It's a lot bigger than Velace's community was as well too. There's just a lot of people. It's a very different community. Strangely enough, both IGP Manager and Velace were UK-based companies. So for over 2 years, I was writing color with a U and favorite with a U and all these having to do all these weird spellings and stuff. So this is actually the first social media and community management job I've ever had where I get to actually spell the word favorite like it's supposed to be and say aluminum correctly and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been a nice change of pace.
Aluminium.
Yeah, exactly.
And we appreciate your involvement with the community. It's been a huge change of pace. It's kind of, I would say as a community, we felt deflated as we started seeing all these guys, these big names leaving 704.
Mm-hmm.
And man, like, no, not again. Finally got a company that'll actually pay attention to us, and now it's falling apart. And you've kind of helped reinflate that hope. Like, man, maybe 704 isn't sinking the ship, so we appreciate that. Since you became community manager, the larger community interaction, is this something that you wanted to do at 704, or is this something 704 saw in you, like, man, we want that for our community?
I think it's
what's the story there?
I think it's a combination of the two. That is very much my style. That's how I always was right from the get-go when I started out with IGP Manager. I really liked interacting with people. I don't know why necessarily, some sort of character flaw within me or something. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I just really enjoyed interacting with people and getting to know people, getting to know the community, all of that kind of stuff. And when I got picked up at Velace, they said, part of the reason that they wanted me was so that I could help them kind of be a team of the people, was sort of like my direction from Velace, which it was sounded exactly like what I do anyway. So no major change needed there. And it's very much the same sort of thing coming into with NASCAR Heat as well. I don't know what the other candidates for the job were like. I can only speak to myself. But yeah, they knew what they were getting into with me, which is somebody who really does like to interact with the community and to get the community involved as much as possible, and to really listen to the community as well too, and just make sure that they're being heard at the very least. We can't solve every single problem, and people are more often than not understanding and realistic about that sort of thing, but people need to know that they're being heard. Otherwise, they're just wasting their time and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a combination thing. I think they saw that in me, and also, yeah, it's just how I prefer to work in the first place, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. You guys currently are blurring the line between development team and the player. Blurring that line has been such a huge difference. I mean, I'm so used to other kind of community managers. They kind of peek in every now and then, see how things are going, and then bounce. And I just thought that was how things work.
Right.
But
sort of the standard.
I mean, it's a huge leap. I can't express that enough. And are they giving you plenty of leeway, or?
Somewhat, yeah. So, I have certain sort of restrictions. I don't know if even restrictions is even the right word, but I can't go completely wild with whatever I want to post. But yeah, they trust me, which is fantastic. And I do enjoy that, obviously, about a company. They trust me to come and talk to you guys, for example. They know that I'm going on and talking to different leagues and podcasts and stuff like that. They know that I'm doing that, and they've given me their blessing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's been fantastic so far, and yeah, I can only expect that it's going to get better from here. Is my hope anyway.
Yeah, I'm 704. Thank you, and do
Same.
not get rid of this one.
So I have a quick question
Yeah.
while we're on the subject of 704 and motorsport. Are you going to be working with the Project Cars deal as well? Because I see that they are kind of jumping in with both feet here into the game development side and video games, and around the same time they picked up, the NASCAR stuff from 704 or with 704. They've got the Project Cars studio now as well. So can you shed any light on that, and if you'll be working together with that studio, maybe getting some of those tracks into NASCAR that don't really race NASCAR?
Not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what my involvement with any stuff outside of Heat will be just yet. I'm sure there will be some stuff, but I can't say for sure. At the moment, my complete focus is on NASCAR Heat. 100% of my job is on NASCAR Heat at the moment. So that is the only thing that
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So that's the only thing that's taking up any sort of my time at the moment. That certainly could change in the future. I'll probably even announce that when that kind of thing is starting to happen and stuff. So that'll become like public knowledge. That won't be a secret or anything like that. But I could certainly see myself, dipping my hands into other projects and stuff like that. It's certainly possible in the future. I don't know. I was asked previously if I'm going to be involved in broadcasting at all, because I have some experience doing commentary with F1 esports and broadcasting in that regard and that sort of stuff. And I'm not at the moment, but that is certainly something that I would be interested in trying as well too, if that opportunity arose. So yeah, I'm very much open to trying other things and stuff. But yeah, at the moment, again, 100% focused on NASCAR Heat.
Yeah, the Project Car stuff is, that's a racing game that I really enjoy. And when I saw that, I was like, man, there's some cool stuff that they could carry over between those two games. Like, I think Project Cars has a really good, I think they call it live track, where when you drive through the grass, it throws this, the grass on the pavement. It's a little slicker.
Right.
The marbles build up and stuff. I thought that looked like
That'd
something
be cool.
Maybe the two games could lean on each other a little bit. And then, like I said, some tracks, like take NASCAR, maybe have some kind of DLC or be in the game where, we can race Bathurst or Motegi, stuff like that, stuff that's in that game.
I would certainly enjoy that. I mean, I've always preferred road racing over oval racing. I don't know why, but that's always been with me. So
I don't blame you.
I just love road courses. I do also love rovals, though. Rovals are fantastic.
I thought I was gonna hate rovals until the roval. So.
Right? Yeah. They are a lot of fun. And actually, my first ever live race for a major race, anyway, other than little tiny dirt track sort of stuff. My first ever big race that I went to was the 2002 U.S. Grand Prix when F1 was at Indianapolis racing the Roval, and I sat at the final corner in 2002, and yeah, that was an experience and a half. And I walked the track as well too. I got to see some of the infield corners as well. Difficult to see from there though. The walls were kind of high. I was small. I was like 13, 14 at the time, something like that. So I was quite.
I think that was
tiny.
The last one too that they had. Maybe one more. Maybe 03 was the last one.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton after that, if there was any. But yeah, they switched. They stopped going to the U.S. for a little while entirely, and then eventually.
Yeah, long time. It wasn't until what? Texas, Houston.
Yep, COTA, Circuit of the Americas, which I was there for the second race in 2013. I missed the first one in 2012. But I was there in 2013 and 2015 as well. So I was there for the final race with the V8s.
We might be getting a second one now. They've looked at Watkins Glen, and the Miami Street Course seems to be gaining traction too. So.
Yep. I know they wanted to do New York for a while as well, or just across from New York in New Jersey. They were trying to have it for a while as well, but I think that got shut down.
Yeah, New York isn't going to let them shut down parts of the city to race on.
Right, exactly. I don't even think New Jersey would.
I think they should go to Watkins Glen myself. I think
I like Watkins
that's
Glen. I like Road America
Such a good
as
track.
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say those are probably my two favorite. I'm not a
Ye-
massive fan of Laguna Seca. It's not enough corners for me. Like the lap's just over too quickly. I like the circuit, but I think it's too small for F1.
Mid Ohio, I think would be fun one too.
That would be a fun one.
Of course, I'm biased. I'm in Ohio. That's where I am at. So a little bit biased there.
Well,
But.
since we're talking about road courses, I just thought of this, and I'm sure somebody suggested it at some point. I'm not trying to jump into the game stuff yet, but I did want to say this before I forgot it. It would be really cool if in the next NASCAR game or future NASCAR game we had optional layouts for some of the road races, because I think it'd be really cool to run a stock car race at the Boot in Watkins Glen,
I don't
or
think
even
we're far from that in real life.
even
Yeah.
bring back the configuration everybody knows about Sonoma, not as an option.
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool to have all these layouts to pick from. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic, because it adds a lot of variety to it as well too. It's just more layouts to try out and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I would be completely in favor of that as well. And especially you could even do like short, like there are tracks with like short courses. Speaking of Circuit of the Americas, it's got like north and south versions, so you could do like a short track that cuts out the big long straight and the hairpin before the straight and that whole section. I think stuff like that would be awesome.
I got a few more questions for you, and then we can go ahead and jump into the future game discussion. But do you have any goals during your first year as community manager?
Major goals really just involve sort of the community. So I have like immediate goals. The Discord server that I've mentioned publicly on Twitter is in the works.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
That's pretty far along already. I will be hopefully inviting special people to that server ahead of time before it opens up to the public, because I do want to get the likes of. I want to get the league admins in there, so I want at least one admin from each of the major leagues. I use that word loosely. If you've got
Right.
if you've got more than like I don't know 30 drivers, something like that, then you would get like a league admin role in the Discord server that you can use to share your league's content, your live streams, all of that kind of stuff. So not a massively unattainable thing to get that number of signups. But then also there's gonna be like a channel in the Discord where any league can say, hey, we're looking for drivers. So there'll be a section that's set aside for like the big leagues, and then there will be another section sort of like for the smaller leagues to help them grow as well too. So that's just sort of like one example. Another thing I want to do is really promote the content creators, the leagues. I mean, you're already kind of seeing evidence of this on our social media already, but I want to promote content creators, leagues, and esports drivers, because I do think those three categories kind of are almost like the pillars of the community that kind of they have the spotlight on them. They're the ones that are seen the most. That kind of stuff. Everyone in the community is important, but these content creators, esports drivers, leagues, they're the ones in particular I think that we should be celebrating and sharing their content and all of that kind of stuff. So that's another sort of thing that's going to happen a lot with my tenure as community manager, because I'm really big about just putting people out there, saying, hey, check out this league, hey, check out this streamer, hey, check out this esports driver, whatever the case might be.
That'll be awesome. And since we're on the Discord topic, a lot of people want a forum again. Is there any chance of us getting a forum in the future?
I mean, certainly there's a chance. Yes, I can categorically say that there is definitely a chance. I don't know the logistics of that yet. I don't know if that's something that we would essentially set up through like a third party sort of thing where it's sort of like you just fill in the fields of the different forums you want, boom, it's good to go. Or if that's something
Right.
that we would actually host on our website. So Discord is kind of like the former of those two, where we don't have to actually host the Discord server on our website or anything. We just go in, we set it up, and boom, it's there and ready to use. So I don't know if we're going to go that route, but I would say Discord has been more demanded than forums, but the forums have also been in pretty high demand as well. So it's definitely on our radar, no doubt about that.
Hell, even as a temporary, the 704 NASCAR Heat Reddit is still pretty active.
Yeah, so
If
I'm glad you brought that
somebody from
up.
your team could get in there.
Because I do read that Reddit. I haven't posted on that Reddit yet, and I do intend to start posting on that Reddit. The only issue is it's just not been a priority for me, coming right out of the gates. It will become a priority for me eventually. I will be going on there and being active on the Reddit and all that kind of stuff. But I'm already reading it. First of all, I want to get that out there. I have a tab open that I read daily for the NASCAR Heat and 704 Games Reddits. So
Hell yeah.
So I'm checking it all the time. I'm just not actually replying to anybody yet, but that's going to be coming eventually. I would say probably sometime after the Discord server goes up is when I'll get myself onto Reddit, and I'll start being more active on there as well.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Post your wish lists on Reddit.
Yes,
They
please
are
do.
being looked at.
Please do.
And a bug thread would be awesome too. Whenever you get to that point.
Yep, we're gonna have a bug room in the Discord that I can tell you about.
That'll work.
Specifically, requesting that people post screenshots or video when possible. That sort of stuff. There's gonna be a lot of stuff on the Discord server, as you might imagine. I can give you a couple. I'll just open it up real quick, and I'll give you a couple of sneak previews. But
exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. But I did, like I said, there is going to be like a special area for leagues to promote. So you can say, if you're a league admin, you can go into the Discord and you can say, okay, we have this truck series league that's going to be racing every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you could go in there and post it, and you can just leave it up there. And when you guys fill up, you can take it down. There will be an area for individual content creators, so there will be approved content creators, which is the bigger ones, people who have a few hundred followers or subscribers or more, who we consider kind of sort of NASCAR Heat influencers. There's going to be a special area just for them, but also there's going to be a channel where smaller channels can promote their stuff as well. People will be limited to like one post per day. We don't want people spamming crazy. Oh, I released 5 videos today. Here's all 5 of them. No. Let's be reasonable here. But yeah, there will be a promote your channel where you can go in and you can say, hey, I'm about to start streaming, or I just released this video, whatever it might be. There's going to be an area for help with car setups, driving help, an area to ask the devs. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that the devs are going to answer every question,
Right.
but there will be devs on the Discord server, and there will be a special channel where you can ask them questions. And I'm gonna be bugging the likes of Elliot and the other devs and stuff like that, who I've already talked with at great length and whatnot. I'll be bugging them to try and be as active in there as they can possibly manage. As you can imagine, they are very busy people, but yeah.
Now,
So
as far as the devs, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are these developers that have been working on the Heat games, or are these new developers coming from other titles?
I don't know, because actually I don't know what they were up to previously. So yeah, I'm not
Well,
sure.
I know
about
Elliot's been there.
Yeah, I think
'cause
so.
That's
Elliot's,
Henderson, I'm assuming.
yeah, Elliot Henderson. Yeah,
He's been there.
Yeah, I think he's like a day one sort of person. Yeah, he's living the dream, doing his dream job too, just like me. So, but yeah, he for sure will be in there. I don't know how many others or who else is going to be confirmed in there, but I'm hoping to get as many people in there as who are willing, and get them answering questions. And there's going to be, as I mentioned, a bug report section as well, where they can see that sort of stuff firsthand. That way, stuff doesn't have to go through me necessarily. With that said, I still welcome people. Let me know on Twitter or Facebook, whatever it might be, if you're having a bug or anything like that. I'll still pass it along, but. Again, there will be that direct channel for those who have access to Discord, who want to use the Discord. There will be that direct channel to the devs, which just makes things that much easier.
All right, those who are joining now, we're half hour in, but me and Chris are joined by the community manager for NASCAR Heat. We're just asking him some questions right now. We got a couple more for him, and we're going to talk about the future of NASCAR Heat, suggestions from the community. So
sounds good. I got about another 30 minutes, so that's plenty of time.
Right on. What are some NASCAR games that you have played? I know you're kind of new to the NASCAR franchise.
Yeah, I'm returning. So I played quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I played quite a lot of NASCAR games on PlayStation 1. I'm old, in case you haven't figured that out yet. Old by gamer standards, anyway. I've been playing video games since the late 1980s.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yeah. I used to play on a monochromatic Apple computer, where you had to put in like 5.5-inch floppies. Yeah, it was huge and the screen was tiny, and everything was in green and black. So yeah, I've been a gamer since before games were even fun, if we're honest. I'm sorry. What was the question again? I got thrown on a tangent.
Right before I ask it again, it'd be a really cool filter, like a filter option. You can go into display settings, set it to like classic, and just have pixelated races.
Monochromatic, yeah.
But the question was, what are some NASCAR games that you have played?
Oh yeah, PS1 was when I was playing. PlayStation 1 was when I was playing the most of them, for sure. I did mostly road course stuff at the time, because that was also when I was getting into Gran Turismo. And that was the game that kind of... Yep, that was... Gran Turismo 1 is sort of what exploded my interest of racing, of cars, and that sort of stuff. Prior to that, it was kind of an interest, but Gran Turismo really just... it just blew open the doors of perception for me. I was, oh my god, there's this whole world of cars and racing and horsepower, and I love it. So yeah, it was mainly on the PS1, which was like late 90s and then the early 2000s. When the last NASCAR race that I saw live was in 2002, and when I say live, I mean on TV live. Was in 2002. It was actually when Dale Sr. died. That was the last time I didn't stop watching because of that necessarily. I think it's just like a coincidence sort of thing. I had just turned 17, and my interests were switching from like video games to girls and just stuff like that. So yeah, I was I just kind of fell out of racing in general at that.
Hopefully
at
that
age.
changes in 4 days time.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I am.
We got the Clash here at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
I am very much looking forward to Daytona. I was, if I'm honest, I was actually hoping that I was going to be able to go to the race at Daytona, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'll have to put that off until.
Maybe you can catch Miami.
Right. Exactly. I really expect to catch Miami, 100%. But I'm hoping to go to one even before that, honestly. And I was really hoping to get the season started right and head out to Daytona for that. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to happen.
Pretty quick now. It's March, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
March.
Oh, I thought it because when I was getting started, I was learning about like what happened last season at NASCAR. So I was watching a lot of season highlights and stuff, and I saw that Miami was right at the end of the year. So I assumed it was going to be the same sort of time this year for 2020. That's
no,
good.
NASCAR just changed
layout now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It ends in Phoenix now.
I think I probably will be able to go to that one, so that should be good. I won't be moved out there just yet, but I think I could probably manage to get myself out there for that race. Hopefully.
Hell yeah.
It'd be a big deal
too. I'm not sure.
Dale Jr. is going to run that Xfinity race.
Oh, really?
In Miami this year.
Interesting.
So you'll get to see Junior Nation out loud and proud.
Have you played any of the PS2 era NASCAR games?
I don't know. If I did, it was like either a rental or it was like a very short sort of experience. I certainly don't remember diving in and putting in hundreds of hours like I did with like Gran Turismo.
Well, in that case, I have a few suggestions. I think as your new role in the game, I think you should check out Dirt to Daytona. It's not the greatest road course racer, by the way. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. That's
Gotcha.
really bad.
Each of these games that he's about to name off has flaws, but each one has something you can pull from.
Right.
Dirt to Daytona was really great. He's the Thunder series was awesome.
Thunder 04, that was my next one.
What was the best part about Dirt to Daytona? Was it the progression, like the career side of things?
The career was good. It wasn't like the Thunder era. But,
Dirt to Daytona was the first one that featured a bunch of different series with that ladder, moving up. And even after Dirt to Daytona, which came out, when did Dirt to Daytona come out? 2000, 2000? It was 05 in the EA NASCAR Chase for the Cup before we got that ladder system outside of Dirt to Daytona. So that was a big deal when that came out.
Also,
Gotcha.
I think I really enjoyed the contact physics, or just the physics in general. They just seemed... I haven't played the game in a while, but I don't know. I just remember the physics being really good in that game. Chris, have you played it recently?
I haven't played it recently, no.
I don't know. Somebody in the chat, maybe, if you've played Dirt to Daytona recently, maybe you can remind me how the physics were. But I remember them being really good.
Great game, but a difficult title to say.
Right. And I was hoping when they did Heat Evolution that it was like a Dirt to Daytona 2, but not quite.
Gotcha.
But I'm really happy that Monster Games has made a return in the NASCAR franchise, assuming they have any more part in it. But NASCAR 04, I remember that having I don't remember a whole lot, but a lot of people love the career mode in that game and how difficult it was.
04 is the best one I've ever played. I put it in front of Dirt to Daytona. That game, as far as everything about it, was really good. Of course, it didn't feature the ladder system. We had to wait another year for that, but the drafting, that was the first game that had the really good, drafting engine where you could run Daytona and Talladega in a pack. The career mode in that game was you hired everybody, the pit crew chief, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
and that was really that. And we haven't had anything like that since. It was like that was in 04 and then it was gone. Yeah, and like Donnie said, the retirements, the progression system was there as far as other drivers moving around in different cars,
keeping the career mode fresh.
Yeah, and it's just really cool that it keeps progressing. Like, that's what keeps people playing Madden. You keep bringing in new players, free agents, stuff like that. And that's something I feel like in the career mode for NASCAR, it's really missing that progression of everybody around you. Not just you, but like everybody around you, and being able to hire everybody, as far as like, do you want to spend that much money on a jackman or a little bit slower jackman, have a faster tire changer, that type of deal.
Right.
Was stuff you had to think about in that, Thunder 04 was hiring everybody around the pit crew and the crew chief, and that's something that was just there and it was gone.
Right.
So if you have any pool, bring that back. Bring that back where we hire crew chiefs and pit crew members. That was really cool.
I also have NASCAR 05 on here. That was just I think that was the first game you could hire drivers to drive your. It's like you were a team owner role in that one, right?
Yeah, and that was the first game that featured the trucks and the Xfinity series as well.
But you could still drive the cars, right?
Yeah, you could drive. You could hire drivers, and it had like this calendar layout in the career mode. And like if you had to qualify on the same day as another race, you had to choose which one you wanted to do. That also featured autograph sessions, I believe, and that was just there and it was going as well.
Autograph sessions.
you had to like button mash some autograph sessions as they popped up and stuff. It was like a little mini game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was really cool as far as the career mode. You know, like I said, first one with trucks and Xfinity cars, and having to decide, do you want to qualify for that Xfinity race, or do you want to run that truck race and then just start the Xfinity race in the back?
Oh, okay.
So
And one more game was not a great game. I mean, it was definitely playable, but it lacked in a lot of areas. However, the details that the track details, the flexing walls, the flexing catch fence, the realistic roof cam, and I think Chris will bring up 2011 here in a second, but I'm going to say NASCAR Inside Line, because of those details and because of how utilized the outer lanes were. Even Daytona and Talladega, like on NASCAR Heat 4, the second you go to the outside lane, like let's say if you run a lap on the bottom lane and then you do a lap on the top lane, you're like 4 or 5 tenths off your last lap. You lose so much time out there, and it really makes restrictor plate racing a pain in the ass.
I've heard this. I've heard this one before already. Yeah, that's something that that has been brought to my attention already once before about Heat 4 in particular, and how difficult the outside lane is.
The outside lanes do work in certain cases. Like if you wear out your tires, short tracks, outside lane can be used. But more times than not, it's really hard to get it going. But NASCAR Inside Line, I don't know what Technics was doing at the time to. It's like they're the only dev team who got outside lanes working properly. I really think you guys should check out Inside Line in particular. And Chris will say something about that tire model for NASCAR
that's
2011.
right. The tire model and the physics engine and Technics for those two games was great. And I'll harp on the tire model a minute because Donnie, he wanted to bring that up. But the tire model in those two games was fantastic, and I feel like that's as important as the physics in a NASCAR game is the tire model and the proper wear for that track. And in 2011 specifically, they kind of leaned away from it in Inside Line, but it was still a great tire model. But I remember in 2011, you could feel a tire going flat a couple laps before it went flat. And
just
for
like
whatever
wobbling
reason,
a little almost.
yeah, like if the right rear was going flat, it would start getting real loose for like 2 laps. It would just be like a real bad slide, or it would start pushing really bad out of nowhere, and then it would go flat. It wouldn't just pop; it would go flat and start ripping it up. And the damage model in those games was pretty good too. Technics struggled in a lot of areas. Specifically, the online was horrendous. But they did a lot of little stuff right. And if you guys go back and look through games, you're going to find that in a lot of games that they did a little bit right and they did a lot of stuff wrong. And the online portion for Technics was awful.
Gotcha.
The paint booth was
terrible.
awesome, though. Don't forget that.
But
Paint booth is another
as,
highly requested one I've gotten.
Yep.
I've gotten that message a lot.
I really, 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 really hope at some point for you guys in the Heat franchise, you go and take a look at that tire model that Technics used and try to replicate it.
And that was in
Even
2011,
though
you
the
said?
Technics era.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2011.
Gotcha.
Specifically
Inside Line was
for
really
the tire
good too.
model,
But
and Inside Line
2011.
specifically for track details and being able to run the wall in a lot of cases.
Gotcha.
And if you really want to jump into the paint booth, at the end of their time, EA was putting out garbage. That's what I'm going to call it. NASCAR 08, 09, complete trash. They didn't even go out and get the car manufacturers. Like, as far as the physics engine, the tracks, everything was awful. But in 09, they had that paint booth, and it was like set up like an EA locker. And you could make the paint schemes on your computer, put them in your locker, pull them off on your console. And so they were basically just... It's like, I don't know if you're familiar with iRacing and the way Trading Paints runs in the background. It was like that. Just complete replicas of cars. Fantastic. So, as far as the paint booth goes, that's where I think you should go with that paint booth over what happened on Inside Line. Because on Inside Line, it was just really time-consuming and really hard to make it perfect, whereas you could use your PC and bust them out, pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer. I mean, I have some experience with like trying to use the paint booth in Forza, for example, and I mean, I know there's some people that have turned it into an art form and they can genuinely create amazing things in there, but it shouldn't be that hard, you know? Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you. You know, you should be able to just have an image that you can use, that you can make using a mouse or even a stylus if you've got one of those.
And somebody
Even
just brought it up in the
like a
chat
phone
here
app would be good.
Yeah.
to make sure that I finished this thought is when we did it with EA in '09, you put it in your locker, and then anybody you were friends with, or if they searched your tag, they could
Oh
pull it out of your
yes.
locker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could
And
share it.
so,
Oh, that was
yeah,
so good.
yeah,
It was like a community thing. Like it got the community together just for the paint booth. It
Mm-hmm.
was great.
yeah. There was people saying this gamer tag has this year's paint schemes of so many drivers, or what, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
filled up the lockers with them, and that was so. As far as the paint booth goes, if you guys could replicate what EA did, the only thing they did right at the end.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But
don't
I
take
mean,
anything else from '09 or '08. Those were garbage.
right. I mean, that's what it seems to be about, though. Learning from others' mistakes. Because
Yes.
everybody did, or mostly anyway, did something right, and it's about just learning what those right things were and what the wrong things were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
then as far as DLC, we get paint schemes. That's about all you can do. And so the community will be very, very anal on wanting every paint scheme that's run. Anything you guys, if you guys miss one, you're going to hear about it.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
moving forward, just be aware that, people are fine spending that 20, $30 for a season pass as long as
They get everything.
that's right. Yeah, they want every paint scheme that's run, even if it just runs once, and some of them you'll be able to get away with leaving them out, but if you guys miss a Chase Elliott scheme, you're going to hear about it.
I can imagine.
All right, this is our final question. We'll jump into the future NASCAR games discussion. But I know you play a lot of F1, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things from that franchise you would like to bring into the NASCAR Heat franchise?
Ooh, so this is a tough one. So I know the community is split a little bit as far as some people want NASCAR Heat to be the best single player experience that it can be. And some people are actually super excited about the sort of esports potential and future of NASCAR Heat as well too.
Right.
I have to be honest, in my free time, I prefer to play single player racing games. And actually I don't play F1 games. I more commentate and spectate on them. So I'm very
Gotcha.
yeah. So I like them and stuff like that. But I don't actually bust out my racing wheel and drive it myself these days. I'm just I'm too many seconds off per lap. I know what the good guys are doing as far as lap times and stuff, and it just makes me feel terrible. But
Right.
I am also really, really into esports and involved in esports. I've been involved in F1 esports since the 2017 season. It's esports is a big part of me as well too. And I have to say, if I had to pick something, I would pick the esports side of things. I would personally like more spectator stuff. And you can ask the F1 devs. I've bugged them about their stuff too. So nothing is perfect. Actually, if anything is perfect, I would say what's closest is probably iRacing as far as, from a broadcast perspective. There's so many
Yes.
camera angles, and they're all fantastic. And they're very easy to use. It's very easy to set up multiple monitors on your computer, switch between cameras, make it look super professional. And I think that's kind of lacking from a lot of racing esports. I'm talking NASCAR Heat. I'm talking F1. I'm talking Project Cars. I'm talking Dirt Rally, the rally games. Forza, the Forza Motorsport. I don't know if you've seen the Forza RC esports that they have. All of these need work as far as spectating and improving the show for people that are watching at home. And I've been saying for years and years and years, probably since 2014, I've been saying that I think the future of sim racing esports lies in racing fans, not gaming fans, because I truly believe. We have these big leagues in NASCAR Heat, like the Core League, for example, that's putting on an incredible show. They're putting so much effort into this broadcast and everything like that. And it would be fantastic if they had, some more tools kind of on their side to make that even better, to make that broadcast even better.
Absolutely.
So I think I would lean towards the esports side, believe it or not. I do love a single player racing experience as far as, if I'm going to hook up my dusty wheel and actually go racing myself, I'm going to do it in single player. But, as far as the esports side, I would like to see more stuff there. So, but, that's definitely something that the devs have heard. They've heard a lot of stuff already. It's not like they've been completely shut off from the community up until now.
Right.
So they've heard a lot of this stuff already. But yeah, I'm just kind of reiterating, telling them what I'm getting the most messages. I'll tell them, hey, I got 40 messages today asking about the 2020 update, or I got 20 messages today saying people want a paint booth, or whatever it is. So I'm really sort of just adding more detail into things that they were already hearing before.
I will say this, as far as the great racing games and the good ones we've talked about, the ones that stick with us are the ones that are more simmy than arcade. Like, a lot of people have tried to meet that in the middle, and I think right now the sim style of racing is what's fun to play. When I look at the project cars and the iRacings of the world, and so I think when you guys are in development for NASCAR games, I think the more sim you can make it, the more fun it's going to be, and I think it would, people will flock to that. I don't think your average racing fan is going to pick up an arcade NASCAR style game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I think if you guys can market it as a sim and make it more simmy, just the car's handle and whatnot. Like, iRacing is a ton of fun, and the cars are hard to drive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people that play it, and so I think, the more sim you can make it, the better.
And a lot of people that watch it as well too.
Yeah, iRacing. Yeah, they just signed the contract with NBC. They're going to do 6 races this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So that's the big deal as far as simmy and driving our cars down pit road and stuff like that. Like, that's only really available in iRacing, and it's a different kind of dynamic as far as having to make sure you don't speed in a green flag stop all the way down and stuff like that. It's driving your car under yellow. Those are all things that I think Donnie's getting ready to get into right now. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just kind of beat you to the
52
bunch.
minutes. I might keep you for, I don't know, an extra 5 if you're all right with that. But our main focus here, going to go ahead and tell everybody watching, is going to be online. This is a league channel, Stampede Racing League. We
I
want
won't let them
the
forget
league
about
to be better.
the career mode.
Right, but
Don't worry, guys.
Chris will bring up I have some single player stuff, but if you really want good, honest suggestions, and this guy's brutally honest, on YouTube, search the channel Disco-Inferno-70. He's very honest. But he's got good ideas for these games. If you want single player information, I do believe, even though I would rather have online, the single player is extremely important and does need a lot of focus. I understand that. But today we're going to talk about online for the most part. So here we go. This is not going to be in order. However, I do have this categorized for NASCAR Heat 2020.
Hey, one off the top that you guys have got to get to.
Go ahead.
Full race weekend online. Practice online, qualify online. We've kind of been asking for that.
Off my list here.
We've been asking for that for the Heat games since they came out, and we've been patient because Evolution was a low starting point, and it got better and better and better. And so, it's time to get it back where we can practice. Like, you set up a lobby and start it with the practice, and it's qualify and race with the host having that control, or 20-minute practice, something like that. But
for sure,
yeah, practice and qualifying, especially with esports, wanting to try to take it off, or not take it off, but wanting it to take off for the Heat franchise and whatnot, gotta get practice and qualifying online.
Yep, gotcha.
All right. I have these categorized. I'm going to go through what I think should be at least a focus for NASCAR Heat 2020. I know you're probably not going to get all this in there, obviously, but I think these would be good for this upcoming game, assuming it's there. And then I have a category for things that should eventually be there. So starting with NASCAR Heat 2020, we need to ghost lag cars much quicker online. It's taken way too long. Cars are getting destroyed by the time these cars get ghosted when they start lagging. So think of some kind of system that will improve that. A proper black flag system. This and Chris was saying about sim. You don't even have to make the driving model necessarily simulation, but at least make the game feel like a sim. And starting with that would be a proper black flag system. Like drive-through penalties, passing under the yellow line at Talladega, Daytona. Keep it simple. Give it like a 30-second timer to return to position. It'll cancel, by the way, if a caution comes out. Failing to give the position back would result in a black flag. Merging on the track too soon. This is another one. I have a rule that in most tracks you have to merge on the backstretch. But there's no real way for a league owner to police that.
Yep.
But iRacing does have a system, and Chris can explain that better than I can. So, Chris, can you tell him about the merging on track thing?
It's just usually a cone off of two. At most tracks,
you gotta stay left.
Stay under the line, stay left.
Gotcha.
Until you pass the cone, and then when you pass the cone, you can blend. If you come up before then, it's a pass-through.
Gotcha.
But I don't think that's a real life rule. I think in real life it's kind of your discretion. On video games it's done to protect people coming in case somebody's not paying attention. You have in real life, Chase Elliott's not going to pull up in front of a pack of cars because that's going to end his race too.
Well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, Daytona, Talladega, but I think there is a rule for like intermediates and short tracks. But cutting a corner on a road course. Right now, you guys have it to where, and I'm going to say you guys.
Right.
It's easier.
Right.
But right now, it's as soon as you cut a corner, like say I blow the bus stop at Watkins Glen a little bit. I'm all of a sudden going to drop anchor right where I sit, and everybody behind me is just going to plow into me, and I just cause a big crash because I accidentally blew a corner. You get that gone. We're gonna add a designated stopping zone, just like they do in real life. If I blow a corner, I need to stop in a certain spot on the track.
Right.
And have like a timer pop, depending on how bad the corner cut was. A timer should pop up and say, "Oh, you cut the whole damn hairpin at Sonoma, so you got to sit here for 15 seconds."
Right.
Okay. Driving. People want driving on pit road eventually. I think this should be a thing. However,
sooner than later.
As a compromise, I don't think this would be too hard. I think we should at least be able to drive out of our pit box this year.
I see. So,
and I believe F1 has it driving under yellow, right? You can do that in F1.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep,
yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to bring that to NASCAR. Sim it up, man. Sim it up.
Yep. Driving out of the pit road would be a good compromise. Racing off the pit road is an important part of pitting, and we can't do that because the AI just swerves us left and right, slam us into a wall, or I don't know, it does some weird shit. But another thing that needs to happen, and this is to eliminate issues on pit road, is to instantly ghost all cars that enter pit road and unghost them as soon as they cross that other line to exit. So as soon as you touch that commitment line, ghost.
That's been one of the more visible bugs that we've had because of that happening in the pro league and stuff like that. So yeah, I know that one's been especially bad.
Oh my God, there's a pile up in this race. Anyway,
I'm gonna say too, while you're on the talk of simulation, the damage model online, make it where we can't fix it all.
Gotcha. So some damage is permanent.
yeah, if we get some kind of motor damage or something, make it where we can only fix it so much, and where that matters. Because right now, if there's a wreck, people don't even slow down. They're just like, screw it, you know.
And
If
I'll
I get
get to that
damage,
point.
it'll fix.
Right.
I'll get to that point in a second as well. But another thing, and here lately, Xbox Live is we're depending on them. I'm not going to do Discord necessarily because it's not run through the Xbox. I'd have to pull out a phone, and I can't stay connected. So we're dependent on Xbox for communication in these league races. So we can only do 16. And we keep having lag out, party lags or something, not a fault of the player at all. And we have to, some kind of hurdle just came into the race. So can we at least, and I'm begging you, I'm on my knees, give us game chat. Not 8 people. I'm done with 8 people game chat. No 8 people. We want more than 16.
At least 16. Yeah,
Right.
at least 16.
Gotcha.
I
don't think that's
another one I
unreasonable.
got. Balance randomized pit times by tenths of a second, not multiple seconds. I
And
don't want to
maybe
go down pit road and have
if we
somebody
get
get
the
17
ability-
seconds and me get 14.
If you get the ability to drive down pit road, maybe how we stop in our pit box
Right.
could influence the pit time.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's how it works on iRacing. It's how
But
you
while
park in
it's
your pit
automated, you're saying not quite as much variety.
Yeah, 2 to 3
Gotcha.
second difference. Especially at plate racing, it kills it. Like
Right,
once
you're
the,
gonna lose
once
a
the field
lot.
splits, it's gone.
Yeah.
So balance that. What else do we got here? More, like he said, more permanent damage. You already know what he said, but I think if it is not possible to change how damage works this year, at least add an option online to disable the ability to fix the car. So if you crash into the wall, you can't fix it at all. You just stuck with it.
Gotcha. That's a neat idea. I like that idea.
I think it'd be a good compromise. Get it in there, Oh, here's another one. Another one on my knees here. Please, for the love of God, add an option that says, "Are you sure you want to disconnect from this race?" Because as soon as we pause and hit B, game over. We're out.
Gotcha. That's a very interesting one, actually. I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, I've had people record. Oh, I need to record that, and then they spam the B button as a habit to close the Xbox menu. And guess what? They just left the race.
Yep. That sounds unfortunate.
Yeah, it's happened too many times. We've dealt with this since Evolution. For the love of God, give us that option. Another one, and this is a more serious note here. Wheel users, me personally, I don't believe they have a huge advantage. You guys do a great job at balancing controller and wheel. That's my opinion. I don't use a wheel. I've been very successful with a controller in many leagues. But the wheel does have an advantage at saving fuel if they have a clutch pedal. I want a clutch button on my controller.
Oh, okay.
And we have had that in previous games.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Utechnics era, we had a clutch button. I want it back because I want to be able to save gas too.
Yeah.
I want to add one
absolutely.
thing too that's not online. In the career mode and offline, the exhibition races, All-Star Race, the duels, the Clash, all that back in the game. We haven't had that for a while.
Gotcha.
Oh,
And the tire model. I don't know if I said anything about the tire model yet.
yeah, tire model.
I don't know who's doing the tire model, but tell them to call me. I will help them. I will do whatever. I will fly to Florida.
I will have
If it
their
means-
people talk to your people.
If it means that we get an awesome tire model, because that's one thing. I do a lot of iRacing, and the tire model, it changes a lot as far as, each season.
Right.
13-week seasons. But the tire model and the way the tire wears is track specific. It's not the same everywhere, and I feel like on the video games it wears the same everywhere, and it doesn't wear enough at a lot of places. Some places it wears too much. The tire model is very important as far as I believe it's as important as the physics.
Right.
So
It's part of the
I
core
am
of the
going
game.
to harp on this tire model. I'm telling you, if it's not good when the game releases, you'll be hearing from me.
Tweet about it. We can't hold him too much longer. We got him for over an hour.
Well, I know. I just want to make sure the tire model. He leaves here and he's like, if he remembers one thing,
Tire
man,
model.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Tire
the tire
model.
model. This guy was bitching about the tire model. I'm telling you that.
Pit adjustments on NASCAR Heat 3, very quick, nice and fluid. I can go down pit road one time and get my full adjustments in.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, well, not you. You know what I'm saying. You guys slowed it way, way down for NASCAR Heat 4. It takes 3 to 4 stops, not even at Bristol. Bristol's a nightmare. You have to pit 9, 10 times to get your adjustments there. But we speed that up. Make it
Not as
snappy.
snappy. Yeah, you know, I actually experienced that exact problem in the F1 games. I don't remember which year it was from transition, you know, in between which 2 years, but I remember having super snappy changes, you know, if I'm changing like the engine mode or the brake bias or something like that. It was very, very responsive, and then all of a sudden it wasn't anymore. And boy, did I feel that. I felt it.
Yeah, when you're trying to make, you know, adjustments on the fly,
right?
This is taking too long.
Mm-hmm.
A brake bias, you brought up that too. That wouldn't be terrible. We can get that back. That was that's an adjustment we have on iRacing, and we've had it in previous console games.
Good catch there.
Nice.
This is a small one. This doesn't necessarily need to happen, but it would make life easier for league owners if you guys disable the kicked for activity or inactivity and kicked for driving backwards systems in private races. Keep them in public matches, but you know, with us having to do manual qualifying and all this, sometimes we'll pull over and then all of a sudden a driver gets kicked for being inactive.
You guys could really help us out if we could get some online qualifying and practice.
Right. Yeah. Because that would kill 2 birds with 1 stone there.
Somebody wanted real-time leaderboard for spectator mode. We already got that discussed.
The lag out thing. If you lag out of a race, you can rejoin it.
I'm not there yet. That's mine.
I'm just thinking of things, man. I'm sorry.
All right. Another one, and I got pissed it was the last week or 2 weeks ago. There is a patch on the exit of turn 2 at Darlington. The lady in black always murders my ass every time I run over that patch. I don't know why. I never see people in real life just snap out of nowhere and die. So can we get rid of that? No more patch on the exit of 2. Get rid of
exit of 2? Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Or we got the forum discussed. Oh, I think this would be fun for the community. Here lately, the NASCAR soundtrack hasn't been that great. I think we can all agree. How cool would it be if you guys put out some kind of a poll that said, hey, pick your favorite song from each NASCAR game and see if you can talk with those music, whatever. I don't know how that works, but we get to pick our favorite songs from all the NASCAR games and our favorites compiled into one to be the next soundtrack.
Gotcha.
Let me just say, I don't think that's very important, but you guys could promote it if you let maybe a driver put together, like 2K does with the, they'll take a basketball player, like you guys could go to Chase Elliott and say, hey, give us a list of, I don't know, 5, 7 songs, and then you guys could promote it as, you know, him picking the soundtrack for the game. Little promotion kind of deal.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that would be cool too. And this is one people liked about the Technics games, even though their online was absolute garbage. We had the ability to start the race by ourselves, which was great for practice because people are concerned about the AI, or the transition from offline to online, how different that would make your setup. So if we can start the lobby by ourselves again, that'd be awesome.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I added free cam for photo mode because I don't like to post pictures of real cars for my league stuff. I like to be in game or playing a game. So the ability to take photos by myself would be fantastic.
Yep, I'd like that one too, actually. I would love a photo mode.
I'm going to try to burn through this one because I know we've kept you this long. And sorry about that, but I appreciate it. But this is for the future of NASCAR Heat. This list isn't It's probably long. I'll just get through it. A fully rendered infield garage area with victory lane. This would allow the player to see their car actually roll into the garage area, or similar to F1. A new heads-up display in the garage area in the form of a team member dropping the window net, handing you a tablet, similar to F1. Full car control under cautions and pit road. Improved spotter with a slider to increase or decrease chatter. Different modes like franchise, crew chief, or spotter mode. I think that'd be interesting. Save race replays online and offline. Allow us to watch.
Yes.
With complete control over the camera views.
I like
realistic
that
roof cam. I've been bitching about the roof cam for years now. I want that realistic roof cam. If you can slip that into Heat 5, hell yeah. Dynamic, safer walls, tire barriers, and catch fence that flex when impacted, like the inside line game I told you about. A car indicator that shows cars around you, similar to how Technics did NASCAR 2011 through NASCAR 15.
Proximity arrows.
Yeah, that works too. That'd be a good compromise. But the car indicator, it's great. Chris hates it. Option to rejoin races when you have disconnected. This is something I think I come up with. I don't know. For example, if I'm in a league race, even if it's a private lobby, and I disconnect on lap 72 out of 200, my car automatically will ghost and is now AI controlled and will go to pit road and park in the designated pit stall. I want to be able to log back into log back into online and have some kind of a option that pops up saying, you disconnected from a race that's still in progress. Would you like to reconnect?
Right.
And if I click yes, I load back in on the last lap my car completed, and I'm able to continue from that area.
Gotcha.
And this needs to work with power outages, lag outs, anything. The game should recognize who started that race and what lap they disconnected on. Pit adjustments on track, similar to the A button bringing up the position info. Maybe if we click a stick in, it'll bring up the pit adjuster thing. I'm sure you guys could figure that out. I don't want to... less bot-like AI. For example, the AI can run by the wall at Dover. Physically impossible. I've tried it, and I kill it every time. But the AI can make Sutton like they're on a railroad. And I don't like that.
Gotcha.
Program the AI to use the flat at certain tracks like Phoenix, Kansas, and Vegas, for examples. Because, I mean, they do it in real life. The AI should do it too.
Yep.
Somebody said, do not ever remove local split screen.
Gotcha.
Co-op championship, F1 did that right. Something else I thought of, I think, brushing the wall causes tires to wear down quicker, acting as a tire rub. When a tire rub is in effect, you should no longer see what percentage your tire is at, but instead a warning symbol. This way you don't have a clear idea of when the tire will go. It's up to you if you want to stay out there and run it out.
Right, if you want to risk it.
Yeah. Cool down laps instead of just cutting directly to a burnout screen. Also online, that'd be cool. Pro League qualifiers, I think, should be heavily focused on racing, not just how fast somebody can go. If you guys are really looking for this esports stuff, I don't think you should be able to go in with 5 friends and riding a conga line the whole time just to run some fast laps. I think it needs to come down to a racer. And if you guys can implement that in the future, that'd be great. And my last thing, fantasy tracks. If we're bringing back fantasy tracks, I want to see Welch Valley Racing Complex from Dirt to Daytona. Ask Monster Games what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'll definitely send. This video is going to be up on YouTube, so I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
You can rewatch
I was going to ask
because we burned through it, so I know you're not going to remember all that.
Right, and also I'm going to be sending it to some people as well too, possibly
awesome.
with some specific timestamps.
I'll see if I can get the timestamps thing going too, because I don't normally do that, but I think I can figure that out.
Cool.
We're going to close it out. Thank you, Justin, for being here. It's not every day we get somebody from the games to come in and actually hear what we want to talk about. So this is great. If you have any kind of social links you want people to follow, you can go ahead and toss those in real quick before I close it out.
Just NASCAR Heat. Just follow NASCAR Heat. I'm on it
NASCAR
more
Heat.
than you might think. I keep, it's on my phone, it's on my computer, so I check it more than anything else, to be honest. So yeah, NASCAR Heat.
Oh, and 704 NASCAR Heat on Reddit, since he's looking at that too.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, I would encourage people to be active on Reddit because even though we're not active on there yet, we are planning to be soon, and we are actively monitoring it for sure.
Right on.
And the Discord server is coming soon as well, right?
Yep, exactly. Honestly, I'm hoping to start inviting the content creators, league admins, all those sort of types, possibly as early as next week, with the general public the week after that.
You heard it here first. About 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the server.
Right on. So, we'll go ahead and close this out. Follow the Twitch channel, Stampede Racing League, no spaces, to catch us live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to keep up with future episodes of Stampede Racecast. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, give us a like. Follow the Twitter page at SR League for everything Stampede Racing. If you have what it takes to join the Stampede, message the Xbox Live profile Stampede Space Racing. Thank you, viewers, for joining us on Stampede Racecast this week. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.